Alrighty, brothers and sisters, if you stayed this long in the crypto space, well, congratulations, because I want to show you something here. The biggest crypto pump is about to happen. So in today's video, I'm going to show you why this pump here is not just any other pump, but this one is going to lead to the biggest crypto pump we have ever seen in human history. The one that actually is going to pump these coins to the moon, no kidding. And I'm going to show you here why in today's video. And there are a few reasons why. First off, the sentiment is worse ever. Worst fear in the market ever, with the tariffs, with everything like that. Regardless, the market pumped. Regardless, also altcoins started pumping, started seeing some nicer pumps, telling us that the market actually is ready. So the reason I have this fractal here, it's because it reminds me so much of this one here back in April 2021, when suddenly we've seen this crash, where everybody actually started saying it's over, we're never gonna see pumps again, and things were not looking that great. I remember this part here so well, because as well, a lot of people did not have dry powder to buy the dip. A lot of people were chasing the pumps, but then when the dips came in, it was very hard. A lot of people struggled with this dip here. A lot of people felt pain. A lot of people felt it's over. It felt like it would never come back again. You know the story. This is exactly what we live today. This is the sentiment we feel exactly today with this fear, and especially this extreme fear. And the second time actually that felt exactly like that was the FTX collapse and then the Luna collapse. So this is pretty much somewhere here. And this as well reminds me so much in terms of sentiment of what's happening today. It was pretty much the same thing where we had sentiment very low. In fact, today we have worse sentiment than this time here, because basically people were just out of a lot of pain. But back in the days here, the sentiment was not as bad as today. And the reason is simple, because we haven't had really a real bull market yet. In terms of a real bull market, altcoins pumping. Now, besides XRP and Solana, BNB, other coins did not come back to their all-time high. Chainlink, like Cardano, those from the previous cycle, like Avalanche, those were very big back in the days, like Shiba Inu as well, Dogecoin. Those that were big in the previous cycle did not make a new all-time high, and that is why we've seen this massive fear spike here. So that was one of the reasons I stayed bullish and I stayed confident that we're gonna see pumps again in the market. Now let's talk about this 2021 rally here, and why was this one a short rally? Now, one reason here, and it's very simple. Now this rally started because after the lockdowns we had the rate cuts happen. So rate cuts dropped to zero, global liquidity started to rally, but then on the second one, the Fed started to increase rates. Since then, we are still struggling with the same problem where the Fed did not cut rates, or at least a few cuts happened last year, and not enough to get the market bullish. That is the main difference between this 2021 pump and this today's pump. Now, regardless, in this pump here in 2021, we did have a major alt season. Now, if I put a Dogecoin here down below, now Dogecoin pumped right until the first crash here, but on the second one, if we look at, let's say, Shiba Inu pumped on the second one. Now Shiba Inu went from $4 billion market cap to $14 billion market cap on the second rally. Now I do believe we're gonna have an even bigger one, and the reason I just said is very simple. It's because of the global liquidity that haven't even started to go up, or at least just started. But also I do think above 150k for Bitcoin is pretty much on the table, and a 6 to above 7k Ethereum pretty much on the table, which means as well those coins are gonna rally on Ethereum. So as well, the second reason, as I said, now the first reason is the global liquidity that has just started its rally up, like back in the days in 2020 and in 2017, both were coupled with a major rally with the global liquidity. Now today we don't have that. That's why I do see this being a massive rally, especially for altcoins. Now the second thing is this recent dip here feels much more like 2020 or end of 2020, and because I lived this as well, this was a very big time here. FTX collapse, Luna collapse, for those that remember. Now when this happened, the sentiment was not as bad. Now today the sentiment, or at least the last few days or few months here, the sentiment went to extreme fear, something we never seen before, to 15. You can see here extreme fear, irrational. And the reason is simple. It's because, as I said, most of the altcoins from 2021 did not recover to their all-time high, and people were already feeling bad. But then you see Trump launching a meme coin, then you see this death candle, this red weekly candle dropping here, and everybody started to freak out because altcoins did not pump. And now what if Bitcoin drops? Now you see a lot of people come out of the woods and talk about Bitcoin going to 50k and below. As usual, whenever Bitcoin drops, they call that number. And that's what caused people to be very fearful. But regardless, now we're seeing Bitcoin recover, we're seeing altcoins recover, which tells us smart money and also long-term investors are still in the market. Now we're seeing pumps happen while the market is fearful. Because of that bad sentiment and because of a lot of people being sidelined, that tells me we're going to see Bitcoin going way higher than most people think. And this is the main reason why I believe we're going to have a bigger rally, because we did not have ETFs back in the days here in 2021. And you can tell me if you agree with me on this one. We did not have ETFs here. Now recently we've seen the Ethereum ETFs having some major inflows that we haven't seen previously. Now on the 24th it started with a $63 million, 63 million going into Ethereum, 100 million on the 25th, and a 64 million on the 28th. That tells us a lot here. If we see this chart here, this is where we see those ETFs, and whenever we start seeing those peaks or we start seeing inflows coming in, this usually tells us we're going to see price rally on Ethereum. As you can see here, the price is in yellow, and whenever we start to see those peaks, usually they push the price higher, and when it's red, they push the price lower. We can see how they actually are really affecting the price here, because retail is not buying much. Retail is freaking out right now. Retail is in disbelief still, and still down from 2021. So the market has been so far just institutional based, especially those large caps, has just been institutions buying up. Michael Saylor and ETFs. Now if we look at Bitcoin as well, and we look at the ETFs in USD, this is a different story here. Now since the 21st of April, we're seeing a very big change or shift in sentiment with these ETFs. We're seeing 380 million large buys, 900 million, almost a billion. Now the second day, 450 on the 24th, 380 again on the 25th, and almost 600 million on the 28th. So they are just buying, and that is very visible here on the charts. We're recently seen as well Michael Saylor buying. That's one major reason why I see this major rally here. The second one is one of the biggest. It might last till the end of 2025, and this will be the one. If we look at the monthly candle here on Bitcoin, you can see now this is the April candle. We've got 1 day left for this to close like that, a big engulfing Thor hammer green candle recovery here. Now usually after those, a green candle like this, after a bearish one like that, we recover. Usually we see continuation to the upside. Now you can see here, this was the one that defined previously the range. Now this one here was the one to close above the previous ones here, an engulfing candle. Now we have again the same thing, an engulfing candle above the previous one, which tells us move to the upside here. And most importantly for the targets here is simple. We're looking at this global liquidity breaking out here on the monthly as well, and since this is what telling us when we see the pumps and when we don't, this has just started pumping. And now because there is delay, we're just starting to see this play out on Bitcoin here, because it started since December, or let's say January of 2025. We started seeing this pump, but just now we're starting to see this play out on the charts. And I've been talking about this now since forever, since basically the beginning of this year, and why I stayed bullish as well, looking for these prices, looking for higher prices. Now we need Bitcoin to start to rally, and then we start to see Ethereum pump. Ethereum so far is looking great, even though now people are still bearish on it, people are still calling for it to go lower. But keep in mind, when this pumps, things starts to pump, like you can see with Dogecoin here. When ETH rallies, Dogecoin and coins and meme coins start to pump. Even as of recently, Dogecoin was going on this parabolic rally, but since Ethereum dropped, Dogecoin dropped, even though if they are not related at all. That happens. So since now we're seeing this on Ethereum now, close an engulfing weekly candle as well. Engulfing weekly candle. Ethereum does rely a lot on rate cuts and global liquidity, and we're starting to see this price in. Now if the global liquidity keeps going up, this is pretty much the bottom here on Ethereum. Now as well, if we look at the RSI, it's at its lowest point since 2022 as well, bear market, and these prices here are as low as previous bear markets, with the sentiment as well that comes with it, and the RSI that comes with it. This is a lot of confluence that telling me this is the bottom. Now when it comes to the targets, when you see this played out previously here, this is the lockdown crash on Ethereum. It did crash, retested the previous lows, then started to rally. Now what happened then? Ethereum went on this massive 40x move. Now if it does the same thing here, which is unlikely because now it's bigger, but let's say it does a 10x from here, that's got to put it around 15k to 16k. But we're gonna stay conservative and say what if it does just half of that, which is gonna be around $10,000, or just right below, or just right above, like Bitcoin 100k, 109k. So for Ethereum 10,900 or something like that would be realistic here. I would not discount the fact that it could pretty much go and rally crazy, because I remember when Ethereum wakes up, it goes crazy. Like back in the days here, it went parabolic and it did not stop, and I remember I wanted to catch it, but it couldn't. I couldn't because it did not stop. Even when we seen Bitcoin drop, it did not drop as low, and it just kept rallying. So this is very big and massive for our meme coins and altcoins that are on Ethereum, because when Ethereum starts to rally, they start to rally. Now if we look at, let's say, Pepe for example, now even though it's been on this reaccumulation zone here, it's actually held pretty strong, and that would pretty much send Pepe to a new all-time high from here, and pretty much flip Shiba Inu at this point, which the prophecy almost happened before, but still has not happened. And we could see coins like Toshi as well rally. Most importantly, lower caps like Breton 8 going for these massive rallies. Those are the ones that actually go for the 100x's and stuff, because they're very low. Because they're very low market cap, they can go very, very, very high and can do those crazy numbers very quickly, especially if Pepe starts to move, since they are on the same narrative, as well as Dorky as well, still accumulating here. Those low caps can go very crazy once the market shifts back. Now meme coins by far are going to be the biggest gainers this cycle, because there is no stopping them. And I see a lot of, which is kind of unfortunate for the utility coins, especially those that build something, but it's unfortunate reality of today's space. Meme coins are going to lead. Meme coins are going to be the biggest gainers. There is nothing they can do to stop that, because even if I have enough capital to, let's say, park that capital on Ethereum or Solana or something, I feel like a 5x is not enough. I'm leaving a lot on the table, or some other utility coin that can do a 10x. When I look at meme coins and I know what they can do, and they do 100x's, 200x's, which I've done times and times again, I'm not very compelled to buy anything else other than meme coins. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people, and you as well watching, feel the same way. And that is why I don't see, that is why I do believe meme coins are going to be the biggest gainers still. They're going to be the sector that's going to provide most of the gains. So I keep my eyes only on meme coins. Now, most of the meme coins are going to rally, especially those that survived this cycle. If you are holding other coins, other meme coins, most of the coins that pumped recently with the market, let's look at Bread on E that actually pumped with the market recently as well. Now, every coin that pumps with the market is a coin that's going to recover, is a coin that's going to give major gains. That's the most important thing. Now, coins that are still here today are going to do massive. They're going to see their time to shine, especially if they have strong narratives. And we're going to play the same game all over again. But the most important thing here is we're going to have finally retail and especially institutions and large capital flowing back into the market with a strong Ethereum. That's the most important. When we look at Ethereum and a strong Ethereum, that means a lot of money is flowing into the Ethereum ecosystem. That's why I say mostly on Ethereum, because I know this is the one that is still undervalued. Not like Solana. If we look at Solana, Solana coins and Solana ecosystem already has its run or had its rally, and it's hard to really catch or be early on anything on Solana. But on Ethereum, since the sentiment, now if you are not on Twitter, you would not understand why I'm talking about sentiment, but if you are on Twitter, you see what people are saying there, and people are very bearish. People are especially really anti-Ethereum, which tells me they have no allocation to the Ethereum ecosystem, which tells me this is gonna rally much harder. So I'll keep you guys updated with what's going on here. I do believe this is it. This is the rally. I know we've been through a lot here. I know we waited for this to play out a lot, but stay hopeful, right? But most importantly, look at the charts. They are the ones that tell us everything. Believe your eyes. Our eyes are telling us this is clearly a very bullish monthly candle on Bitcoin, even though the bears are going to say otherwise. But this is telling us the next leg up is coming, and especially this one is with the global liquidity rallying with it. So stay strong, hold strong. Thank you so much for watching today's video till the end, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.